Welcome to Pop of Genius Unfiltered. So this is a new update to an old channel. It once was Pop of Genius on Urban Politics, but it has been updated to Pop of Genius Unfiltered, and we're going to go into a new direction. Stay tuned for an update for another channel. But today, this is called F.B.A Kkk, according to Tasha K. So if you're not familiar with her, she has a program on YouTube and several social media platforms called Unwind with Tasha K. She is very popular with the Black urban audience. Unwind with Tasha K is also very well known in a very publicized court case that amounted into a $4 million judgment that she has to pay the pop star and hip hop star Cardi B. And I don't know how many coins she's put towards this $4 million judgment, but it has not been paid in full. And we're not only going to talk about Tasha K and her insane comparison of foundational Black Americans, which are also descendants of slaves, versus being compared to a terrorist organization like the KKK, along with other people who have talked negatively about foundational Black Americans and ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves. Again, her show Unwind with Tasha K brought along her frustration on something that was said about her husband. Listen to this.
Very disappointed in you. I've been watching you for years. In fact, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, you're the reason why I actually expanded my brand and have a business. It wouldn't be the type of business.
I'm glad that I could plant a seed like that.
But and
so what are you disappointed in me about?
Yeah,
what opinion?
I can't defend you now. I always defend you when it comes to them trans women, because they ain't gonna come for you.
What is your
okay?
Because right now you're not even asking.
F.B.A movement.
Did I say first of all?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it was the F.B.A movement that asked me a question.
Well, it couldn't have been if F.B.A is 50 million people.
An African booty scratcher. They said that I cannot speak on the foundational Black American movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher. Here's what I think about the F.B.A movement and any other movement that has to do with Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all look up to, all these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness. Here's what I would say about the F.B.A movement. It's no different than the KKK. Meant to divide, meant to separate you, to isolate you.
Like that.
I said what I said.
Okay, well, what you just said was some bull.
But you don't like it. You don't like it.
I sure damn don't like it.
Well, then what you want me to do?
And collectively, I think most foundational Black Americans and ADOS feel the same way. You know, I said what I said. And the reason why we say the things that we say, it's not out of just pulling things out of the hat. There is a real vitriol towards our community. The further we move along in this video, you're going to be able to see some real hard, factual, comparable reasons on why there is such a division and why Black Americans here have considered collectively to put a stop to it. It's like these groups have that share the same color as us and many of the same cultural heritage. We share some of them together, but when they're here in the United States since 1965, there's been a total disrespect. And now that you have access to resources, you no longer need us, you kick us to the side, fine. But without having to keep us in constant discussions around who you are, your identity here, and how you should be considered here in the United States, you feel as if a lot of them feel as if Black Americans are really, they look at us as if we're some type of deterrence for them to be accepted socially.
I'm Black American. I'm not African American. I've been separated from the homeland for over 400 years. I'm black. Oh my gosh. Why are F.B.A the new KKK? African Americans have no culture at all. All they do is steal culture, little hood rats and hoodlums. You can tell the African Americans and Africans apart. We all don't look the same. African Americans hate Africans and want to separate themselves from Africa so bad.
If you was making sweet potatoes, do you put 1 cup of water or do you put 2 cups of water?
What kind of sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes, candy yams.
Candy yams? How much sweet potatoes am I making?
A pot.
Feed how many?
It's a cooking channel? Do you
feed how many people?
1 cup of water, 2 cups of water.
How many people are we feeding? It doesn't matter?
Nope. 1 cup of water, 2 cups of water.
Well, I'm born and raised African. I'm not African American, so I don't know y'all culture. But if I were to make it, that's slave food. I don't do that, babe. I'm not a slave. I was never a slave because I was never a slave. I know where my grandfather came from, my great grandfather, and where all their ass came from. Your ass don't even know. You probably
Be in this wonderful place at the Essence Festival that has been going on since the early 90s and surrounded about Black American culture, and then to think that the creators and founders of the Essence magazine are actually foundational Black Americans. Can you believe that? To say something so disrespectful in such a place. You know, this was a really good article from a Substack. The article's author is F.B.A Kkk, and the title of her article is Essence Goes from ADOS to Africa. And it says that Essence was founded in 1970 to affirm the lives, style, and struggles of American descendants of slavery women. And it goes on to talk about the quiet takeover of Essence and the cost of cultural displacement. And this was written on last year, July. It says, last night on Patreon, someone mentioned that Essence magazine's longtime editor-in-chief, Susan Taylor, was of Trinidadian and St. Kitts descent. That detail reminded me that Black immigrants and their progeny are absolutely capable of respecting ADOS culture and even aligning themselves with it, like Americans. And this is Susan Taylor. She was one of the chief and editors-in-chief. Excellent work she did for decades, and she left a legacy. And she wasn't foundational Black American or ADOS, but just like the author of this article stated, she respected the culture and brought in an alignment with her own culture into the movement of Essence magazine. And that's all that Black Americans have ever wanted with Black immigrants. That's all we've ever wanted. That has always been the dream, that we have an influence throughout the world. And it was a way for us to be able to communicate our style, things that were going on in the workforce, because 1970 was 5 years after the civil rights was passed. And so you have a lot more Black women that were getting into the workforce, and now we're experiencing a new. One of the reasons why I brought it back into the Essence Festival, into this conversation in this video in connection to Tasha K and her comment, is because this discord, this division from us is really rooted in a survival mindset. I made a video a couple of weeks ago about this and how many Black immigrants that come here, they come from very poor, downtrodden nations.
American? Dirty Black American?
Wait, what?
Huh? Dirty Black American?
Wait, what?
Dirty Black American?
Wait, what?
Dirty Black American?
Wait, what?
All of these people would sit up here talking greasy about us, and we start doing lineage check. People are mocking us. We had to start getting some straightening with these people, man. These old corny, lame folks doing all this weirdo stuff under our lineage, pretending to be a part of our lineage. These people are mocking us. We had to start getting some straightening with these people, man. These old corny, lame folks doing all this weirdo stuff under our lineage, pretending to be a part of our lineage. And again, we start seeing how these people got down whenever they wanted to get something from us. They do this double dipping. Well, we all black. We there's a minority coalition now. We all deal with the police pulled me over. They ain't gonna answer you. So they say that in order to get resources. They get the resources from us, and then when they get something specifically for themselves, they get to hoard all of that for themselves, and we can't even touch that.
Very much so. And that goes in line with having a survival mindset. When they come into this nation, they think that we're lazy. They think that we are privileged. They don't see the things that we are constantly having to go through. And a lot of the things that we go through, it helps to protect a lot of their immigration rights, TPS, things like that. A lot of them are mad with us right now because they don't think that we are speaking up for them. See, they're so used to us overlooking the disrespect that has occurred for decades. Even when some of their African leaders came over here to the United States, right when civil rights was going on, they didn't really correlate with Martin Luther King or any of these civil rights movements. However, they found themselves cozy at the White House, rubbing elbows with JFK and them. And this dangerous notion that Tasha K angrily communicated over her large platform, comparing Black Americans who descend from people who had no autonomy over themselves for hundreds of years in comparison to a terrorist organization. Black Americans never terrorized other people here in this country when we came out of slavery from nothing. Okay, we've become some of the most patriotic people in this country, and yet we were the constant ones that were terrorized. Everything we built, they tore down. Everything that we accomplished, they tried to intimidate us with it, and they've even passed on this lineage to other people who are not even originally from this country or don't have lineage in this country. They've taught other people how to terrorize Black people, and this is what they won't say, and that is it. Really, a lot of the rights and a lot of the civil rights and things that are constantly going on, even into this day and time, it is through the advancement of Black Americans and us using the NAACP to help further protect those rights of people. And not only NAACP, but also HBCUs. A lot of Africans and Black immigrants would have never went to medical school if it had never been for Black colleges and universities. TPS started with civil rights. So, with Tasha K saying something like this, it just shows that she's a puppet, along with a lot of these other folks that don't recognize the greatness of what Black Americans contribute. And I don't have to cause an argument to make anybody be convinced on who we are, because we are who we are. I'm not saying we're perfect. There is always room for growth. However, the collective of us have contributed a lot. And I can't create a space for you to feel as if you are seen like we are seen in this nation. I just feel like it's something competitive, and it's something that they do back in their own nations. That's the thing. That's why a lot of them come here, is because they can't even unify over in their own Black nations. That's why they come here to the United States, and they try to spill over that same demonic discord onto us, and we're not accepting it, because we've been there, done that, and we know that united we stand, divided we fall.
And people are the cool. They're the culture. Cool. They're the culture drivers of America without cultural question.
Filters.
In some ways, I guess that's maybe ancient Greece. What's democracy if not the original hip hop?
Tasha K does not strike me as a person that is just independently intelligent. I think that she is fast on her feet for a podcaster. I think she does really great as a podcaster. I'm not saying that she doesn't have like everyday intelligence to manage her household, things like that, to be a mom or wife or whatever, or a businesswoman. But in regards to a well-respected brand, I know that she's now currently working with the same management company, I think, or platform company that used to work with Wendy Williams, but she's not that. She's no Wendy Williams. She's no Oprah Winfrey. She's no Tamron Hall. You know, I've never seen her use her platform for something that is significantly groundbreaking. When you have a subscriber following of millions of people, you know, that's a feat. That's a feat. However, I just feel as if she operates like someone who is not very mentally mature, you know. And what she said was very damaging, and I don't think that she's going to be able to dig herself up out of this for a very long time, just like she's trying to bob and weave out of that $4 million judgment. Yeah, this is not that. And then to add insult to the injury, she is now trying to capitalize allegedly on a possible new alcohol deal with a new wine, all around this controversy. You know, cringe, tacky. You know, I just couldn't see myself trying to profit off of my lineage, misfortunes of my people from generations. And you know, I know she threw in that she has a grandfather that's from the Bahamas. However, you made your bread and butter basically within the Black American community. And you know, I've never been a fan of hers really at all. I think she's loud. I think she's overbearing. And to tell you the truth, I'm not surprised this is all going down. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also support my media vision at Cash App, $ Pop of Genius Films. Thank you so much for buying a cup of coffee or just some storage for my videos, upgrading my cameras. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day.